Happy Sunday to you. How about them Lions? I mean, look, we have been talking for weeks. I've been telling you how I feel about this season for weeks, really all the way going back to preseason. The wins and losses to me do not matter this year. They don't matter. And they don't matter because you're trying to build the foundation. We're going to get into it at about 6:18. I want to start the show somewhere else, but I think when you're looking at this team, when you're looking at this organization, and certainly from your couch or wherever you're watching these games, when you're judging this coaching staff, this general manager, I think it's all about perspective. This season was not about wins and losses. This season was about building a foundation of a tough, smart football team and a relentless football team. And so far, I mean, look, they've gotten kicked around a little bit this year. Should have won a few more games than they did. But at the end of the day, it was a big-time win today. Big-time win down at Ford Field. So I think it's just, to put into perspective, does this mean this win it's hollow? It's a hollow win. It doesn't mean you're going to the playoffs. Doesn't mean you're going to win a division. It doesn't mean any of that. But what it does mean is that you're setting yourself up for the future. You're setting yourself up. You're setting the expectation that this is going to be a tough football team. They're going to give you all four quarters, and no matter where they fall on the schedule, no matter how many wins and losses are in each column, they're going to play tough football. And I think that's a really nice place to be at this point. Clay, good evening to you. I just suggested to Rich and Mike about a fictional trip to the. Hey, would love it. I would love to send Mike and Rich to the real Super Bowl. I think they'd be wonderful. A Christmas Carol wish. Oh, and hey, for those of you that hung around, we earlier this afternoon, 4:00, we did our annual Christmas Carol here on WJR. It was a lot of fun. So if you tuned in, thanks for watching. But Clay, I'm glad you enjoyed. I hope you enjoyed. It's nice to see you tonight. But in the meantime, we're going to do the Lions. We'll get to it about 6:18. I want to start somewhere else tonight, which I think is a fascinating piece of our sports landscape as we sit here December 19th, 2021. And it has nothing to do with the four major sports. And I want to talk about Tiger Woods and Charlie Woods and the amazing rebound again for Tiger Woods. Incredible. So we'll talk about that. I also wanted, we got to give you an update. We talked a lot about the COVID stuff and the sports landscape yesterday. I'll give you an update on one of our local teams. Shut down for essentially the holiday break. So we'll revisit that here in the hour. We'll give you all the updates around the NFL as well. A lot to do tonight. So hang tight, stay with us, and
when the vernal equinox begins in late March and the sun crosses the equator in the northern hemisphere on our way to summer. Jeff Monasso, Fox News.
And I'm Joe Chiro, Fox News. WJR traffic and weather first.
Eastbound 696, the exit ramp to 75 is partially blocked.
Hey, Chris, we have a live read for New Orleans, Tampa Bay.
Between 696 and 11 Mile Road. Eastbound Fisher Freeway,
okay.
Stop and go traffic.
And he's okay. Well, I mean, he's okay with Sirius XM, Fight Nation to introduce him.
75 and Gratiot Avenue.
All right, you're going to have to see if you can send me that read. I don't know what I have.
Lodge 75
okay, I'll find it.
Are closed as well because of this. I'm Will Hetzel, WJR traffic and weather first.
We're partly cloudy as we run the temperature back to the mid to upper 20s. That's actually just slightly on the high side of average. A little warmer than where we should be for Monday, with mostly sunny skies up to around 40, low to mid 20s Monday night. From the Weather Channel, I'm Jeff Eno on News Talk 760 WJR.
From the Golden Tower of the Fisher Building, you're hearing the great voice of the Great Lakes. News Talk 760 WJR. It's time for Sports Wrap on 760 WJR.
All right, this is the wrap on 760 WJR.
To a car phone we go. Dave, thanks for hanging on. You're on 760.
Gentlemen, and Steve and Dan, you got the chemistry. It's cooking.
Presented by FanDuel. Download the FanDuel Sports app today. FanDuel, more ways to win.
Are you calling us from your office?
I'm doing SportsCenter tonight with
Are you really?
Dan Patrick. Yes.
I'm very impressed. By the way, give Dan our best. He's a good man. And
I will. Hey, Dan, Chuck Swirsky says hi. This is the best sports wrap has ever been, in my opinion.
Now, here's your host, Chris Renwick.
Oh, my goodness. How about them Lions? We'll get to them. Coming up at 6:18. I don't want you to go anywhere. That's a big-time win from this team at this point in the season when really they got nothing to play for. But they're going up against a good Arizona team, well shorthanded. And they take it to the Cards. We'll talk about it 6:18. Something happened, though, last night that I found to be, look, I have been a huge pessimist as it relates to Jake Paul, the other Paul. Doesn't matter. I don't really care for him. But I think last night, Jake Paul just flatlined Tyron Woodley. Flatlined him. I mean, stiff as a board, right hook, down he went. Look, I think even for somebody like me, even for somebody who has been as negative on these Paul brothers as anybody, I think it may be time to start questioning whether or not, A, these guys are good for the sport, and B, are they legit? Look, and that's why I am I need to reach out to the professionals when it comes to boxing. My good friend RJ Clifford, he's the host of Sirius XM's Fight Nation, retired fighter, the whole thing. He knows the game. Joins us this evening on SportsWrap. RJ, is this guy for real?
Well, I mean, it depends what your definition of for real is. I mean, do I imagine this guy's going to have a 40-fight boxing career and try to win titles and try to, fight top 10, top 5 guys in his future? I don't think so. But you can't argue that the beginning of his career looks not that much different than the beginning careers of other all-time boxers. Like you look at the first 5 fights of Canelo Alvarez or Floyd Mayweather or Johnny Golovkin, like any of these top 5 guys, and their first 5 fights are against debuters, guys with that are 0-5. And he in his 5th fight he knocked out a one of the top 5 best MMA welterweights of all time. So he's the start of his career is as legit as you can expect.
I mean, I think, somebody like me looks at the Paul brothers and thinks they're nonsense, right? Like they're content creators on YouTube. They don't really have much of a skill set as it relates to athletics. But even me, somebody who's been a pessimist on these guys for as long as they've been, fighting in a ring, I think that you got to give it to them a little bit. I mean, they seem to put in the work. They seem to have somewhat of a plan when they walk in the ring. And the execution now, I think, is something that we have to really consider as being at least worthy of the public considering them as real fighters. Is that fair?
I mean, absolutely. I mean, I think the results speak for themselves. I mean, take away the pomp and circumstance of Jake Paul and his brother Logan Paul. And I just 6 months ago realized that they're 2 different people, right? I'm in the same boat as you. But when you look at if you take away the fact that it's on Showtime pay-per-view or Triller or the millions of YouTube followers, if he was just a nobody starting out his boxing career, we'd be like, okay, this might be a guy worth following. Okay, here's I wouldn't call him a prospect. I wouldn't call him a must-watch. But okay, here's a guy on the regional scene developing his skills and trying to start his career as a boxer. If he was a nobody, that's how we would look at him. But because he's in the Mickey Mouse Club and a YouTuber, it's he's over the top and the head tattoos and the whole 9 yards. We look at the nonsense and say that takes away from the sporting aspect of it. And honestly, with the Paul brothers, you start questioning, like, are they good or bad for the sport of boxing? Like, I think they're completely divorced from the sport of boxing. They're a boxing-like substance. They're doing what they do, which happens to be in a boxing ring. But I will credit Jake Paul. I mean, he genuinely seems like a guy who wants to be good at boxing. And by, like you mentioned, just completely flatlining and stiffing up Tyron Woodley on Saturday night, he's proven that he's reached at least a threshold that 99% of human beings can't reach. Like, people don't knock out Tyron Woodley like that. He literally has never been knocked out like that in his entire career. And Jake Paul did it.
So I guess that was, when you talk about he and his brother and what they mean to the sport of boxing. Look, there is no more exciting sport when you've got two bona fide stars, right? And I think we've seen that even in recent years with the Pacquiao Mayweather fights, right? And I think that when you're in that situation, those can be as electric as any sporting event on the planet. And I was going to ask you if you think that because of the way that the fight game has expanded, where it's not just boxing anymore, it's UFC, it's mixed martial arts. There's a lot of leagues that have broken off and started because of the success of, for example, the UFC. But it's not, the fight game is not confined to a square ring anymore. Now there's an octagon, and there's more, I guess more. There's more options for eyes to be on. So are the Paul brothers, in particular Jake Paul, I think Jake's better, but could he be kind of that gap, bridging the gap of maybe folks who are fringe boxing fans, maybe folks who maybe haven't paid attention to the game for a while? Is he able to bring some of those viewers and fans back in the fold?
Well, I mean, there's no question that I think, specifically a very younger audience is watching boxing, or at least some form of boxing they probably never did before. And boxing, I love myself some boxing, but it's slowly kind of become like an old man sport, right? Like, it's, younger kind of trends towards, MMA and UFC, and he's bringing in a whole new crop of an audience that's paying to watch him box. Now, will they stick around to watch, Tyson Fury or Deontay Wilder? Right. Like, that's left to be seen. But I mean, I think it's more a credit to the sport of boxing that Jake Paul has an audience that he's looking to monetize, right? Like, he has millions of people that subscribe to his YouTube channel. He's like, how can I wring as much money out of these people as possible? And he chose to box. And I think that should be a credit to boxing. If he chose to golf or play tennis, will people be paying pay-per-view prices on a Saturday to watch him golf or retired golfers? I don't think so. But because it's combat sports, because it's boxing and it's enticing and the stakes are so high and you can get knocked out or you can knock somebody out, he chose that avenue, and that should be a credit to boxing, not him, taking away from boxing.
Interesting stuff. Always great insights. RJ Clifford, thanks for the time tonight. Appreciate you.
Anytime.
Yep, you got it. There he is, RJ Clifford, host of SiriusXM's Fight Nation, right here on SportsWrap. More to come. I want to get into this line stuff next. Look, I don't care how you slice it. This team certainly has had their lows this year. This team has certainly looked anemic at times. But for every time where they looked down, for every time where they just haven't looked good, that was the opposite today. I mean, what a dub at Ford Field for this Lions team, for this organization, for this staff. It's a big deal. Talk about it next, right here on WJR. Chris Renwick with you, taking you to 7.
What's all the buzz about nasal irrigation and Navage? And should I try
I
it?
can't find this live read in my email.
It's the body's air filter for trapping allergens.
Do they have it in the
and
book
viruses.
there? I think they
when
should.
When your nose gets clogged,
No,
it's less effective.
They have just where I have to
Eventually,
write
your
down when
immune
you
system
get it,
can get
but they don't have
overwhelmed
the
and you
script.
get sick. Nasal irrigation is an effective, all-natural way to clean your nose. It's not a drug.
Which one is it? What's it for?
Saline goes in one.
It says enhanced New Orleans, Tampa Bay.
Out mucus and germs. Okay. I'm Martin Hoke, and I invented Navage to make cleaning your nose easy. It's the world's only nose cleaner with powered suction.
Play one more spot, and I'll do it next.
Pulls out the bad stuff so you can breathe better, sleep deeper, snore less, and feel healthier. at Walgreens, CVS, Rite Aid, Target, Bed Bath, and Walmart. Or go to Navage.com for a free gift with purchase. Over 2 million sold. Navage, Navage. Clean nose, healthy life.
Imagine a world without pepperoni. Ugh. Okay, enough of that. Now imagine layer on layer of pepperoni. That's Hungry Howie's new Pepperoni Duo. Our fresh-made dough and 100% real mozzarella cheese topped with traditional pepperoni and a layer of our new classic cupped pepperoni for layer upon layer of flavor on flavor. For a limited time, just $10.99. Don't just imagine yourself enjoying one. Come get one soon.
Hungry?
Howie's!
Don't miss the Trading Group show this Saturday at 5 p.m. on
You want it
WJR.
after this?
Yeah, 10
Earn a
seconds.
full-time income working from home as a trader. That's the Trading Group show this Saturday at 5. Our question line is 888-646-8787.
All right, look, we are getting closer to the end of the NFL regular season this year. Lots of great games on the docket today, but you still have some time to put in your bets tonight, because you got Saints, Bucks, 8:20 kick. And look, here's the deal. Now is the time to get involved with FanDuel Sportsbook, because they're giving you 30-1 enhanced odds on either team to win, which means all you got to do, come to the table with a 5 spot, you could walk away with $150. Look, it's very simple. FanDuel is simplifying the game. They're simplifying your sports betting process. It's what they're best at, quite frankly. Oh, also, they're really good at paying you out when you win, because you get your money in like 2 hours. It's very simple. All you got to do, hey, you want to build your same game parlay? You do it. Just click the SGP icon, give you all the options to choose from. You want to bet the money line, the spread, maybe take some player props. It's all there for you. It's all laid out. It's simple. Look, do yourself a favor. Go see for yourself why FanDuel is America's #1 sports book. You log in, sign up, use my promo code Renwick before New Orleans takes on Tampa Bay. You could win $150 on just that $5 bet. Oh, remember, I don't want to forget this. Also, 'tis the season, right? If you are a FanDuel user, maybe you got somebody who's interested in dabbling with sports betting, all you got to do, go to the app, click the Refer a Friend tab. You have an exclusive link. You send your friend that link. They can sign up. You get $50. They get $50 when they place a bet using your link. I mean, look, how about that? Everybody gets a little dough, and hopefully you're able to cash out in a couple of hours. Remember, sign up, promo code Renwick, and that way they know I sent you.
21 and older and present in Michigan, new users only. $10 first deposit required. Must wager in designated offer market. Maximum bonus $125. Restrictions apply. See full terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com.
Clay, I know.
Gambling problems? Call 1-800-270-7117 for confidential help. As the year comes to a close, 760 WJR and Sweet Deals have partnered to bring you a last chance to pick up amazing items at a 75% clearance discount. From gift cards to full vacation packages. Go big this year with a hot pick from our Sweet Deals clearance.
Remember, I'm going to do a little tiny highlight
John
package here.
Belegian and Bill Keenest present the highlights, happenings, and history of American football, covering everything from high school ball, the NCAA, and the NFL. Join us for the Gridiron Wrap, Sunday nights at 7 on WJR.
Now back to more Sports Wrap, presented by FanDuel. Download the FanDuel Sports app today. FanDuel, more ways to win. Here's Chris Renwick.
Passes it this time. Throws it. Touchdown, Amon-Ra St. Brown. 37 yards. Jared Goff winds up. Touchdown, Detroit. Josh Reynolds. 22 yards.
Good.
Let me just tell you this. Some people may want Morgan Freeman to narrate their life, right? You've heard that before. Now, give me Gus Johnson. Give me Gus Johnson all day. I love me some Gus Johnson. I do. I think he's the best in the game. Here's the deal. I've been telling you for weeks, going back to the preseason, that this season is going to be ugly. Going to be a lot of losses in this season. And I told you, don't worry. This is a rebuild from the ground, from the foundation all the way to the sky, to the top of the skyscraper. This thing is a tear down rebuild. And I've been telling you the last couple of weeks, I didn't care what the win-loss looked like. I don't care how many losses they have. Now, I would like for them to land the first overall pick, but we'll see. I think that we got to keep the mindset here that the foundation is being built, that this organization, Brad Holmes, and then certainly Dan Campbell, they are building a mindset. They are starting to construct the foundation. And that foundation is tough, smart, relentless football players. And as we get towards the last 3 games, 4 games if you include today of this season, with guys in the protocol, with guys like TJ Hawkinson out for the rest of the year because of surgery, with guys like DeAndre Swift not being available to you, this is a time for a lot of these young players, whether they've been on the practice squad, whether they were undrafted free agents, whether they were a 4th-round wide receiver out of USC like Amon-Ra St. Brown. This is the time where they step up, they show you what they got. And today, 30-12 dub over Arizona? A 10-win football team? I mean, something needs to be said about that. That is a big-time statement win. And let me also add this. I think this whole drama with Anthony Lynn calling plays and then Dan Campbell coming in and say, look, I'm going to call the plays now. And then everybody has been, I'm relatively concerned that Dan Campbell just isn't a play call, right? I mean, like, that's quite a decision to take that away from your OC. And there certainly went through some, we'll call them trying times over the last few games as Dan Campbell has figured out how to call a football game. I thought today, in totality, with a couple of questionable calls, in totality, Dan Campbell really, I thought for the first time all season, I thought from the first whistle to the last whistle, made a lot of the right decisions. Even just getting your field goal in a position you were able to kick a field goal that's much more manageable. Even able to on 4th and 3, you're able to make a play and find that rhythm. You got to give Dan Campbell a lot of credit. And I think that, you know who else deserves a lot of credit is Aaron Glenn. Just a ton of credit. That defense today played inspired football. Really nice job by Aaron Glenn, who has turned out, I think, in the offseason when this staff was brought in and Aaron Glenn was announced as the DC, he was really the only guy on that staff where you're like, all right, well, let's see what he can do. Right? Anthony Lynn coming off a head coaching job at the Chargers, kind of figure what he can bring to the table. We weren't really sure with Aaron Glenn. Just a position coach on that defense in New Orleans last year. I think Aaron Glenn has turned out to be a nice little find here. And I'll tell you, I would believe that Aaron Glenn's probably going to be a head coach in this league within the next 5 years. If this is the output with the talent you have on the roster. But they maxed it out. That's a really big win. I mean, Jared Goff today, 21 for 26. 3 touchdowns, no interceptions. We've seen that script flipped a couple of times this year, where he's had 2 picks, 3 picks, two picks and a fumble, no touchdowns thrown. Like, that's a nice development for Jared Goff. 8.3 yards a pop on these throws? Are you kidding me? Where did that come from? I mean, earlier this season, it was like 4.5 Lucky to crack, 5.2 yards per throw. Well, I think you're starting to see this young group of pass catchers, whether it's Khalif Raymond, whether it's Amon-Ra St. Brown, those guys are finding a bit of a rhythm. It's big. Josh Reynolds, another guy that came over from LA, been a contributor when he's been healthy. And then you've got Craig Reynolds. How about Craig Reynolds? Where is this? I mean, look, you want to talk about guys that are playing inspired football, guys that whether or not they will be here in the future, playing today is a big deal. They can put something on tape. 31 other teams are going to look at it. Craig Reynolds rushing for 127 yards? Okay. Sold. I'll take it. And he was the workhorse today. Only rushed for a little over 4 yards a carry, but 26 totes, 112 yards. Look, it's a nice job by this team. And I think that today, we have to just enjoy this because that is a big time win. Jason, let me ask you a question.
Shoot.
You got 3 games left on the schedule. You go at Atlanta next week, at Seattle the following week, and then you're at home versus Green Bay. Mind you, Lions have won 2 of their last 3. They absolutely pummeled Arizona today. How many wins do they have left on the books? What do you think? They got 3 games left at Atlanta, at Seattle, versus Green Bay at home. Atlanta and Seattle have not been very good this year. Atlanta has at least shown, they've at least shown that they're lucid. Seattle has not been very good. So out of those 3 games, how many do they win?
I say they win 1. They're going to win next week. They'll beat Atlanta.
Mm-hmm.
Seattle, very tough place to play.
Mm-hmm.
So they lose that one. And then Green Bay could be resting some people. I forgot about that. Yeah, I'm still going to go with just the 1. I'll say Atlanta next week.
Okay, because I tend to agree with you. I mean, I tend to agree with you. So with all of that being said, Lions have won their 2nd game on the year, 2 of their last 3. Are they finding something here at the end? Maybe. I mean, it's not like Arizona didn't have anything to play for. I mean, they were playing for a chance to clinch their playoff berth.
They've lost. Arizona's lost 2 spots in the last 6 days in the standings.
Yep. So all I'm saying, these wins, especially for Arizona, are important. They lose to the Rams last week, 30-23. Divisional game. This is a team that is not resting on their laurels. No, they don't have DeAndre Hopkins. That's a problem. They had a ton of drop passes today. And Kyler Murray looked mortal at least, because he's been absolutely marvelous this year when he hasn't been banged up. But this was the hottest team in the NFL to start the year. The hottest team. It is a coin flip between them and the Rams. And Kyler Murray today, 23 for 41, 256, touchdown to pick. I mean, that's a big time performance, bottling up Kyler Murray, sacked twice. I don't know. Look, I just think I'm really encouraged. Again, do I want them to keep winning football games? I do not. I think at this point, if you keep fighting, you keep trying to build this mentality, but from a fan perspective, from a forward thinking perspective, I want this team to be in the best position come draft time to have the pick of the litter. And whether or not Brad Holmes says, "Look, I'm gonna hands off here. I'm gonna deal the first overall pick." At least you have that option. But I want them to be in the best position to maximize their ability to get better. And from my mind, my money, if you're that top overall, if you're the first overall pick, if you've got that in your pocket, you got a lot of options. So I think you got to give kudos to the Lions today. It's a big time win. All right, we'll tell you what. We'll take a quick break, come back on the other side. We'll get you caught up on some of the scores in the NFL. I want to talk Tiger Woods, too. I mean, remember, it wasn't even a year ago that this guy is in a serious car accident. Thankfully, he didn't die. I mean, amputation of his right leg was on the table, a legit option. And now he's back out playing golf with his son at the PNC. I'll tell you where they finished. It's incredible. Sports Wrap rolls on here on WJR. Chris Renwick in. Don't go anywhere.
I'm Dr. Andrea Russo, a cardiologist. Maybe you're waiting to talk to your doctor right now. But if you're having an irregular heartbeat, heart racing, chest pain, shortness of breath, fatigue, or lightheadedness, don't wait. This could be a serious condition like atrial fibrillation, which can make you about 5 times more likely to have a stroke. If you're having these symptoms, don't wait. Talk to a doctor by phone, online, or in person.
Brought to you by Bristol-Myers Squibb and Pfizer. When news breaks, millions are turning to Newsmax. Get the latest on COVID, Biden's inflation, and the truth from Washington. Each weekday, Chris Salcedo probes vaccine mandates and looks at the potential dangers. Find Newsmax on all major cable systems or streaming on Amazon Fire,
really
Samsung,
impressed about
Roku,
it.
Zumo, Pluto,
I
and
don't know if you
more.
watched it, but
Millions
you
are
can
also
tell. I
watching
mean,
the free Newsmax app from their phones. So download it today and start watching Newsmax. For
doesn't
news
get
you
as much
can really
push
trust.
off of that right leg when he's
podcast about
releasing.
money.
I don't know.
But Stacking Benjamins
I just
not
think it's
only
really
has
impressive.
great
And this
financial
kid-
insight, it's laid back with humor too.
Got a fun one?
This
A
kid
trade
is
where you
incredible.
went, yeah, probably shouldn't have.
Whether or not he decides
original
golf is
1969 Red Baron
what he
Hot
wants to do,
Wheel.
I don't know.
It's now worth
He's
$3,500
got the
bucks, and I
stuff.
traded it for a bag of Cheetos at lunch one day to some jerk named Steve.
Gotcha.
Stacking Benjamins with Joe and his good friend OG. Listen wherever you get your podcasts.
I'm okay.
You're not okay.
It's normal to have diarrhea and stomach pains.
Sometimes, but not as often as you do.
I've got this under control.
No, you don't.
It's time to let that voice inside your head be heard. Urgent diarrhea and chronic stomach pain can be signs of Crohn's disease or ulcerative colitis. The Crohn's and Colitis Foundation can help you learn more and even find a specialist. Don't keep your symptoms to yourself. Get help at spillyourguts.org.
As seen on Fox 2 News.
Have you been told you need spine surgery or just sick of living in pain? The Disc Institute has a proven, painless alternative. If your neck, back, or sciatic pain is due to a herniated, degenerative, or bulging disc, then you actually have 2 problems. 1, your pain, and 2, your bad disc. Drugs, therapies, epidurals, and new pain lasers are designed to only treat your pain, but they're not designed to treat your disc problem. And this is crucial because your bad disc is what's causing your pain in the first place.
Clay?
Without addressing your disc problem,
Oh my
your
gosh.
problem will get worse, which can ultimately lead to surgery. At the Disc Institute, we have a proven solution
my
to solve
goodness
both
gracious.
of your problems, your pain
And he was
and the bad disc that's
back
causing it, with
at-
our
at
high-tech,
church giving the-
non-invasive treatments. This is what can stop
the
your
sermon?
pain without surgery.
Oh,
Call
like
me at the
you're
Disc
a mass. So
Institute
he
at
was
586-416-DISC. That's 586
something else, man.
3472. We'll even review your MRI for
That's
no
amazing.
charge. Call 586-416-DISC. Reclaim your life.
Oh,
now
he
more
fell-
than
so
ever,
it wasn't
families
even
living in
COVID.
poverty face fear
Fell
of
off the
eviction.
ladder. My
As
gosh.
the pandemic continues, they've got to find a way to get through it all. But
Incredible.
you can help. Your $25
20
monthly
seconds.
donation to the Salvation Army can be the difference between homelessness and having a home, or going hungry and providing a warm meal. Keep hope marching on at salmish.org or text GIFT to 24365. That's salmitch.org or text GIFT to 24365.
Now back to more Sports Wrap. Presented by FanDuel. Download the FanDuel Sports app today. FanDuel, more ways to win. Here's Chris Renwick.
All right, I want to get you caught up on a couple of scores from around the league. The Bengals lead the Broncos 15-10. Just under 13 to go in that one. That's at Mile High. Falcons trail the 49ers 31-13. 9.5 to go in the fourth quarter. Packers on top of the Ravens, just getting ready for fourth quarter action, 21-17. Jace, I think we nailed that one from our picks yesterday.
Yes, we did.
Bills on top of the Panthers, 31-14. That's another hit for us. I'm glad we didn't touch that Lions game. I'll tell you that. I would not have. look, I'll play the honor system here. I would not have picked the Lions in that match. So good on us.
Yeah.
The Cowboys. How about them boys, Jace? 21-6 today. They beat the Giants.
Another impressive day by the defense and a lackluster day from the offense, but a win's a win. I'll take it.
I think we also picked the Steelers over the Titans last night, didn't we? 19-13 today in Pittsburgh. Yeah. And I think that when we're looking at teams that we need to keep an eye on in terms of draft order, this game today was important, although they both stink and they both have terrible records. The Texans and the Jaguars both today started the day with just 2 wins. The Texans beat the Jags 30-16. What a hot dumpster fire of a football game that is.
So the Jags and Lions now duke it out for the number 1 pick.
Yeah.
Well, for now.
Right.
Houston's still in the mix.
Houston is still in the mix. And then you got Saints Bucks tonight coming up. This whole thing with Tiger Woods. I mean, let's be honest here. This guy has come back from knee surgeries, come back from massive back injuries, endured everything he did that happened with his off the field persona, his life, his wife, the divorce, that whole thing. And Tiger Woods has always made it back. He always kind of found his way back home. And I think in the grand scheme of things, this PNC Championship tournament is essentially, I mean, look, it's a nothing. It's nothing. It's like your country club's invitational, right? Like, it doesn't mean anything. You want to win, but it doesn't mean anything in the grand scheme of golf. But Tiger Woods coming back to play this tournament is incredible, considering everything that he went through with that crash. Everything that included, saving his life, number one, but then legitimately considering amputation of his right leg because of the injury sustained at that crash following the Genesis not even a year ago. And Tiger Woods came out a couple of weeks ago, about a month ago now, I guess, and said, look, I got to be choosy. I want to play golf. I still think I can play golf, but I'm not going to be able to play a whole tour schedule. Not going to do it. Can't do it. My body will not allow me to do it. So I have to be choosy. I'm going to play in a couple of events a year. I'm going to see how I feel. If I can play, great, I will. If I can't, then I won't. But being out there over these last few days and seeing what he can do, I think it gives everybody, everybody loves a good comeback story. And Tiger Woods is once again putting it on full display. Now, we know the importance of family with Tiger. He has said it countless times. Even the way he's been able to practice golf pre-crash changed because he wanted to go to his kids' events, wanted to go to their soccer games or tournaments or school functions, whatever it is, that he wanted to be there for that. So he wasn't able to go practice golf all day and all night. Changed. Priorities change. And so it wasn't a surprise to learn that he wanted to play in this tournament with his son, Charlie. And by the way, as somebody who follows music, right? I love music. Crazy Wolfgang Van Halen is a good musician. Oh, his dad Eddie wasn't too bad either, right? Oh, Jason Bonham is a great drummer. Oh, well, John Bonham wasn't. He was pretty good too. You know what I mean? Like, it's just somewhere in your DNA. Like, somewhere it's just there. And with Charlie, you can see it. The kid's a gamer. The kid can play. It's absolutely incredible. Really incredible. For 12 years old, this kid is striping the ball. And I mean, he just drops some. Look, if this kid decides that he wants to be a golfer, if this kid decides he wants to play this game as a profession, he will do well. he will do well. This kid has got something. And watching him play it's a lot of fun because he's got something. It was Team Daly though who won the PNC. And if you don't love John Daly, I don't know. John Daly is the man. The man. He just doesn't follow the normal like golf norms. None of it, man. I mean, he just doesn't care. Doesn't care. These guys, Bryson is drinking 4 protein shakes a day and lifting and trying to get his ball speed up to, 250. Like that ain't John Daly. John Daly is like this. This is the same John Daly who just a couple of days ago when he was at Doral orders like $500 worth of Taco Bell because he had been drinking all day and he wanted some T-Bell. Like that John Daly. So he and his son, Lil John, who, by the way, is committed to play golf at Arkansas. He's a really good player, young player too. They won the tournament. Tiger and Charlie came in second. They shot 25 under. This thing came down to the 18th. I mean, the Dailies birdied 18 to put them up by 2. But they were up by 1 stroke going into 18. I mean, Tiger Woods and his son Charlie, his 12-year-old son Charlie, outplayed Justin Thomas and his dad, who's a PGA pro. Like, can we put that into perspective? The kid's 12, and he's just dropping dimes. It's incredible. They started the day with 3 strokes off the lead, and then was able to pull it within 2. They had a great day. Started off 2 birdies and an eagle, and then rattled off 11 straight birdies. Tiger said afterwards, we got on a run, which was great. Charlie was hitting the ball unbelievably, made a few putts, got interesting and tight towards the end. It was fun. He also said, we thought we were going to have to birdie every hole on the back 9 to have a chance, and it turned out to be that way. It was a blast. I'm just happy and thankful I'm able to do this, to still have my leg. That was questionable for a while, and it's functioning. I'm just really tired. I'm not used to this. I'm worn out. And that's the whole other side of this, is if you watch this tournament at all, you saw that Tiger is stiff. I mean, he used a cart all week, but he's stiff. He doesn't have as much push off that right foot. He's a little different. He's not able to swing the club as fast. Doesn't have as much club head speed. Not able to get as much distance out of each club as he normally did, I guess, instead of does. So you're seeing these little variations on his swing that he's still trying to get back. Is his leg ever going to be good enough to be, like to win another major? I don't know. But for a very short amount of time after, as a fan of not only the game, but of Tiger, of having that feeling like, are we ever going to see this guy play again? It was nice in this short window. And as he continues his rehab process, as he continues to try to fix this leg and get him in a position where he can play, real tournaments, for a very short amount of time. It was a lot of fun over the last couple of days. All right, we'll take a quick break, come back on the other side. We got Sean Belegian coming up, Gridiron Wrap coming your way at 7:05. Of course, you're not going to want to miss that. We'll talk football. Oh, I did also want to update you on the Red Wings situation. The NHL has made a ruling on the Red Wings and their next few games. But they've gotten bit by the COVID bug. So I'll let you know where they stand coming up next here on Sports Wrap. Chris Renwick on WJR. Don't go anywhere.
What's all the buzz about nasal irrigation and navage? And should I try it? Here's the science. Airborne germs invade through your nose. It's the body's
Is that
air filter for trapping allergens and viruses.
Is that a
when your nose gets clogged?
maybe this
it's
is
less effective and germs multiply.
miscomment by Max
Eventually,
Lamprey.
your
I'm not
immune
sure.
system can get overwhelmed and you get sick. Nasal irrigation is an effective, all-natural way to clean.
Yeah, Charlie had the
your
red shirt
It's
on
not a
today.
drug.
Yeah, they
It's more like
matched.
plumbing.
They did the matching
Saline
thing,
goes
which was
in
cool.
one nostril,
He
around
had the
back of
Sunday
the
red
nose
on
and out
last
the
year
other
too, which was
nostril,
cool.
flushing out mucus and germs. I'm Martin Hoke, and I invented Navage to make cleaning your
Yep.
nose easy. It's
pretty
the world's
good.
only nose
It was a lot
cleaner
of
with
fun to
powered
watch. There's no
suction.
doubt.
Navage pulls out the bad stuff so you can breathe better, sleep deeper, snore less, and feel healthier. At Walgreens, CVS, Rite Aid, Target, Bed Bath, and Walmart, or go to Navage.com for a free gift with purchase. Over 2 million sold. Navage, Navage. Clean nose, healthy life.
Hi, I'm Uzo Aduba, and right now medical information is not regularly being shared within the research community, but you can help change that. Patients can help accelerate research by sharing their information and unique experience.
Would love to see
Everyone's experience with cancer matters, including my own.
If you're a cancer patient in the U.S. and its territories or Canada, you may be able to play a part in accelerating cancer research and uncovering new breakthroughs simply by sharing your patient data with researchers around the world.
My unique experience can make the difference of life and death to some of the people in my community.
It is in our stories and data that the answers can be found.
Join Stand Up to Cancer, Count Me In, and thousands of patients like Maeve, Bridget, and Joel in this movement.
Is he ever going to get the Jack record
friends
of 18? I don't know. I don't know.
The information is out there.
I would
Together we
think
can
not.
unlock it.
I would think
Join
it's
in
probably
at standuptocancer.org/countmein.
Now more than ever, families living in poverty face
win
fear
another?
of eviction.
Yeah, I can
as
see
the
it.
pandemic continues, they've got to find a
But
way to get
remember,
through it all.
during that
But
whole
you
stretch, we
can
weren't
help.
really
Your
sure that he
$25
was gonna
monthly
be able to win
donation to the
another major
Salvation
anyway.
Army can be the difference between
Like,
homelessness
from
and having
that
a
whole
home,
fallout
going hungry,
in his
and
personal
providing
life.
a warm meal.
We
Keep hope
didn't-
marching
I mean,
on at
just didn't think that
salmish.org
that was gonna
or
be
text
possible.
GIFT to
That he was gonna win another major. And then,
24365.
you know,
That's
he got
salmish.org
injured. His
or
back.
text
He
GIFT to
never was-
24365.
felt like he was, or he never
My name is
seemed
Teresa
like he was gonna
Barber.
be able to
I
get
was
back
in the
to the
United
fight.
States Navy,
But he
and I
did.
served overseas in the
That
Middle
was
East
a
and
wild
Africa.
scene. It was.
Early on in my
And
career, I
actually,
had a
the
commander
players'
that taught our
championship,
suicide
too, was
prevention
crazy.
training, and the very next day he took his own life.
All those
90%
people that were
of
following
suicide
down the
attempts
18th
involving
fairway
a
was
gun
wild.
are fatal. My way of continuing my service is to help protect my community by being a responsible gun owner and by storing firearms safely. Store all your guns securely. Help stop suicide.
Brought to you by End Family Fire and the Ad Council.
Everyone's talking about labor shortages and all the related price increases.
If you're a homeowner or a contractor, we know the struggles you both have trying to find trustworthy people that can help. The Inside Outside guys want to help homeowners and contractors alike with our over 80 years of combined housing experience.
Go where thousands of Michigan homeowners go every month for help with their homes. The Inside Outside
Hey, Shawnee.
What's up, buddy? How you doing?
Trust. Go to the InsideOutsideGuys.com.
You get the week off,
The
bud?
Inside Outside Guys are brought to you in part by Four Seasons Kangaroo.
Bill Jr. here for Kangaroo, where we hop to it. You have an old tired roof, but you don't have the money to replace it? Well, let us replace your roof today, and you don't have to pay for
Christmas
it
Eve
for 2 years.
through
That means you get our award-winning
New Year's
licensed,
Day or whatever.
insured, background check, and drug screen
Yeah.
team, and our industry-leading
The 23rd
guarantees,
is my
and
last
you don't
day.
have to make a single payment on that roof for
same.
2 whole years. Don't settle for some pickup truck chuck. Choose Kanga-roof.com.
Well,
That's
Clay, we got,
Kanga-roof.com.
The Allied Championship is out at Warwick Hills in Grand Prix.
Sean
So that's
Belegian and
the
Bill Keenest present the highlights, happenings, and
Yeah, I don't
history
know.
of
I would love
American
to talk
football,
out. I'd love to
covering
see them
everything
do
from
it.
high school ball, the
That was one of the best
NCAA,
tournaments
and
we
the
had.
NFL. Join us for the
but
Gridiron
we got
Wrap,
Matthew
Sunday nights at
Morgan
7
back,
on
which is great.
WJR.
Now back to more Sports Wrap. Presented by FanDuel. Download the FanDuel Sports app today. FanDuel, more ways to win. Here's Chris Renwick.
So unfortunate news, as it pertains to your Detroit Red Wings. The NHL today said that because of the number of positive cases over the last several days, the Detroit Red Wings and their games will be postponed through the scheduled completion of the holiday break on December 26th. Sean Belegian, Gridiron Wrap coming up 7:05. I think that we kind of talked about this yesterday. about how these leagues were going to be. Because look, COVID cases are up around the country. And when you're dealing with, even in the NFL in particular, when you got a lot of big name players coming down with positive cases, and you got playoffs coming up on the horizon, the NHL has been another hotbed for a lot of these players getting put on COVID protocols because they're coming up positive. How these leagues were going to handle this, and in the NHL's case, they're just shutting teams down over the holiday break.
Yeah, it was interesting. The dominoes started to fall a few days ago. There were certain teams that were getting hit pretty hard. I think the Calgary Flames come to mind. It was interesting, Chris. I don't know if you saw it, but on Thursday, 2 hours before the game, think about this. They announced no fans in Montreal.
Yep, Montreal,
and
Philly.
Then shortly after that, they said no game against the Bruins on Saturday. And listen, I think Steve Yzerman had a point yesterday. I'm sure you guys talked about it. I thought he had a very reasonable point. Mm-hmm. Unfortunately, these aren't reasonable times, and people are going to turn it into something else. But hey, listen, we thought we were over it. We're not. I mean, there it is. I mean, there not more to add to it.
Big time dub today down at Ford Field. How about them Lions? I mean, my goodness, that was. And I've kind of been saying this the last couple of weeks, but these wins and losses don't mean a whole lot, right? Like this year is about building this foundation, hard-nosed, smart, physical football players. That's what they're looking for. And I don't put a lot of stock into wins and losses this year because I've kind of given them that grace period of, okay, well, if you're going to tear this thing down to the studs, then I'm going to allow you the time to build this thing back up. But with all of that said, that was a really nice win by a team that has continued to be shorthanded because of COVID, that you've got guys still that are banged up and out for the year in TJ Hawkinson's case. So they're severely shorthanded. And with guys off the practice squad, they made Arizona look like a mediocre NFL team today, which we know they aren't.
They really did. And Chris, it was really a complete win. I mean, it was on both sides of the ball. They haven't had many convincing wins for quite some time. And I tweeted something out. It reminded me of when they played hapless Jacksonville last year and won going away. I mean, it's just strange that you can't think of a lot of games like that, where the Lions really took it to the opponent. But Chris, they took it to the Cardinals today. I mean, they really did. It was pretty cool to see that.
At Sean P. Bally on Twitter, by the way. I gotta say, and I think that I kind of talked about this earlier. I thought Aaron Glenn has done a really nice job with this defense. I think he was kind of the real question mark coming in the offseason, just being a position coach last year with the Saints, and we just didn't know exactly how he would be as a coordinator. Big thumbs up. He's doing a really nice job. And then over the last few weeks, as Dan Campbell has taken the play calling duties on offense, I think he has shown a lot of really good strides in that department. It's not easy to call plays in the NFL, but I think he's gotten better every week.
No, and you know what? That's what you're seeing out of this defense. Again, this was a historically bad defense last year, and they lost some parts on top of that. And the defense has been playing well for the most part. They have their moments. I mean, there's no doubt about that, where, the Minnesota game, that the first victory of the year was a period of time in the third quarter into the fourth where you were like, oh no, here we go. But I'm with you. It's very enlightening. Boy, what can you say about Amon-Ra? I mean, the kid is really, now again, is this a number one receiver? Probably not even a number two.
No.
Would I go to war with a guy like that? Do I want him to be part of the receiving core moving ahead? Absolutely. I mean, I think he's a darn good piece when the Lions address a couple of wide receivers in this draft, and I'm sure they will.
Yeah, and look, I'm a simpleton. I don't get a lot of stuff right. I will say, if I'm gonna toot my own horn, I was always very excited about that Amon-Ra St. Brown pick. I thought he was physical at USC. He's a guy who can catch the ball. He's a pretty good route runner. I think he's even gotten better over the course of this season, but he's a physical guy. He's not afraid to mix it up. He'll run block down the field. And where they got him in the draft, I thought it was a steal. I'm in agreement with you. I don't think he's a number one receiver, and I think he's probably in that second to third receiver range. But you got to have those guys on your roster. You got to have guys that are willing to mix it up. You got to have guys that are hard-nosed and that'll go with you. And he certainly is one of those pieces. So I'm very encouraged by the job that Brad Holmes has done, seeing some of these younger players that they drafted or even undrafted free agents that have been, have kind of had a big hand in a lot of these wins over the last 2 weeks.
Well, and that's the thing, Chris, you and I are on the exact same page. I know what this year is. Let there be no pretenses. W's and L's don't matter. They want to use the draft picks the next couple of years, their picks and the Rams picks. And, let's see what happens a couple of years from now. But, hey, listen, I'm not going to complain about them winning games. I'm just not, especially to beat a team like the Cardinals. No, I'm not going to complain about that.
Well, let me just say, let me qualify it with this. Do I think that they should go out and win the rest of these games? I'm not so sure. Give yourself the best opportunity by landing the highest draft pick you can and let the chips fall where they may. In the meantime, we got Gridiron Wrap coming up. What's on tap?
Yeah, we're going to talk a lot about what's going on in the National Football League, a lot more about that win today down at Ford Field. Maybe some Christmas memories. Longtime fans might remember the Lions have played a couple of Christmas games. I'm going to nerd out and tell you about a fantastic fantasy football victory that I had at Christmas dinner, and I was doing the I'm the Champ dance at Christmas dinner. I was.
No.
Yeah, I was.
Did your family lift you up like Rudy?
No, you know what? My wife and son were the only ones that knew what I was doing, and everybody else looked at me like, what is wrong with this guy?
And how many people did you have at the table?
That day there was about 20 people at the table.
Oh, my goodness.
Yeah, a Trent Green to Tony Gonzalez touchdown pass sent me into a dance. So
look at you.
No, we're going to have some fun tonight. And obviously talk about Ferris. Congratulations.
Yes.
Bulldogs,
how about those Bulldogs?
D2 champs.
Awesome. Enjoy. Have a great show. Don't go anywhere. Gridiron Wrap coming your way at 7:05 here on WJR. I'm out. We'll talk to you soon.
As the year comes to a close, 760 WJR and
all right, that's going to do it for us. Have a wonderful week. And geez, Pete, we are, I just got to make sure of this. It's almost Christmas time. So have yourself, if we don't get to you, have yourself a wonderful Christmas. And we'll talk to you very soon.